Hi, class. I'm your instructor, Mr. Hines, or you can call me Coach. And I just want to kind of get over and cover three specific things today, specific to our classroom. The first is I want to do our my instructions for record keeping. I will be keeping accurate and detailed records of the following. One, your attendance, when you're here, how often you're here, and if you arrive tardy or late. The other thing that I'll be doing is I'll be checking to make sure that all of your assignments are graded appropriately. So I will be capturing your grades and making sure the grades for those each assignment are complete. I will also be checking participation. Participation, not only for the week, but I have project participation grades within each project grade. And I will make sure that each of those participation grades are outlined for you specifically. And then lastly, I will be capturing outliers, positive and negative outliers. If there's something that you do that's extraordinary, and I have to highlight that for the class, then I'll make a note of that and I'll make sure I capture that specifically. The converse is true also. If there is something that you do that causes me to have to take away from the class, I have to stop the class because you are doing something different from the rules, the classroom management rules, then I'm going to take note of those. Those are going to be difference makers when it gets down to the final grading period, if you're online or borderline or close. And likewise, it will also be brought up if we have to go to counseling or we have to take care of something with a principal or administration outside of the classroom. Okay, second, housekeeping records. So I really want to make sure that we take care of some specific housekeeping. Again, I don't have a lot of housekeeping rules for the business and finance course. However, the most important and paramount rule is that each scheduled seat has a number assigned to it. So my scheduled seating chart is going to has a number assigned to each person. So that means if you're sitting in seat 7 and I've assigned you seat 7 at the beginning of the school year, then that is your seat all year long through that perspective. I'm also going to make sure that these numbers are used when we go into separate groups. So if your group is assigned during the week, I'll say number 7, number 14, and number 21 are going to be in a small group this week. That means I can kind of transfer that. And then when we have bigger, larger unit projects, then we'll also have a larger group for those. And we'll be assigned by number. And then lastly, I want to talk about a plan for preventative maintenance and engagement. And this is very important because it kind of goes back to what we talked about before. Every day at the beginning of class, when sitting in their assigned seat, I want someone to come up to the beginning of the class and I'll either pick that person or I'll have the substitute if there's a substitute there. And they'll take this jar and they'll dig into the jar and they'll say, get a number out at random. And that number, they'll start off and go, oh, number 7. Number 7 is now responsible for all the tools, the markers, the pens, the calculators, in their assigned cubby holes at the end of the day. So we'll do that 5 minutes prior to end of class. We'll pick the number randomly at the beginning of class. And then at the end of class, 5 minutes before the end of class, that assigned person is going to make sure that everything is in its proper place prior to the end of class. And they will let us know when it's okay for us to stop. So in conclusion, we've discussed about record keeping, housekeeping records, and our plan for engagement and preventive maintenance in the class. I appreciate it. I appreciate your attention, and I look forward to seeing you in class.